Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of my lecture. On today's episode, we'll be talking about the rule 3 under the nature of a confessional statement. Now, let's go straight to my notes. Under the rule 3, confession must be made by the accused or the defendant and not his counsel. In the case of R versus ASUQUO ETIM INYANG, the accused was resident in Calabar and went through a form of marriage in the church there in Calabar. Some 18 months later, proceedings were taken against him by a London magistrate court in respect of a marriage which the accused had contracted in England 7 years previously. Before the Calabar magistrate court, counsel for the accused admitted the fact of the London marriage. The accused merely gave evidence as to his financial circumstances. Criminal proceedings on a charge of his bigamy were constituted against him at the Calabar court, where the prosecution was relying solely on the 2 marriage certificates and the admissions made before the Calabar court. The court held that the admissions could not be treated as confessions for the purpose of proving the criminal charge, as they were not made by the accused himself. Now, this is the third rule on nature of confessional statements, and then it tells us that the confessional statement must be made by the accused and not his counsel. In this case, you will see that there is a charge of bigamy. Bigamy is when you are married to more than one wife, and it is not a crime in everywhere in Nigeria. It is just a crime in certain parts. So as at this time in Calabar, it was a crime to be married to more than one wife. Now, he was married in London and then he was married in Nigeria. His counsel, in one case that did not even concern bigamy, testified that, oh yes, he was married in London. And also, there are documents showing that he was married in Nigeria. So that's an obvious case of bigamy. But then, it wasn't the accused that said that he was married. It was his counsel, when he was testifying to something that even his counsel did not know that they were going to bring a charge of bigamy. So his counsel just said it like, okay, yes, he was married and all that and all that. So they now wanted to use that to catch him for bigamy. Do you understand? But the court, in the case of bigamy, held that no, when you are going to bring a confessional statement, as this would have been a confessional statement, it was an admission, an oral admission, yes, and that is confessional. But not only must there be an oral admission, that oral admission can only be made by the accused. The oral admission can only be made by the accused, and that oral admission must state all the elements of the offense, as can be seen in our rule 1, that there must be all the elements of the offense before that thing can be a confessional statement, as can be seen in the case of Dadamosi versus the state. Do you understand that? So yes, not only are we supposed to have all the elements gotten, not only could it be written or oral, it should also be that the accused must be the one confessing himself. There cannot be confession by proxy. You cannot help somebody confess. Do you understand? That confession can only be made by the person in question. That's the accused. And with that, we end our lecture for today. In my next class, I'll be talking about other rules regarding the nature of a confessional statement. I will see you in my next class.